At the FIFA 2026 World Cup final draw ceremony, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney did more than simply attend the prestigious event. He commanded the room as soon as he arrived among the leaders. As cameras flashed and broadcasters went live around the world, it became clear almost instantly that Carney was not just another guest. From the moment he stepped onto the Kennedy Center stage, his confidence, ease, and presence set him apart.
As is customary, there is always a question that the moderator asks the draw assistant. So I would like to start with Mr. Carney. How big a deal is it to co-host the World Cup for Canada? Oh. Difficult question, I know, but...
It is the biggest of deals, Gianni.
While the event featured global power players and even U.S. President Donald Trump, it was Carney who quietly and confidently stole the spotlight. This wasn't supposed to be a political moment. It was meant to be a celebration of football and global unity. Yet Carney's appearance transformed the ceremony into something larger. A statement about leadership, diplomacy, and Canada's growing confidence on the world stage. Now, for those who don't know, the FIFA World Cup draw ceremony in Washington marked the official countdown to the 2026 tournament, the largest World Cup in history. For the first time, 3 nations, Canada, the United States, and Mexico, will jointly host the event.
You know, it's the #1 sport for Canadian boys and girls. 2/3 of the country watched the last World Cup. And we are partnered with the United States and Mexico, welcoming the world. There's more than 200 nationalities in Canada, more than 200 nationalities in FIFA. The top 48 are coming to North America. It is going to be the biggest deal ever.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
For Canada, this was a defining moment. While the United States and Mexico have both hosted World Cups before, this will be Canada's first time hosting men's World Cup matches. The stakes are high, not just for sport, but for national image and international perception. Carney spoke without stiffness or scripted formality. His remarks focused on welcome, inclusion, and the joy of hosting the world. He framed the World Cup not as a logistical challenge, but as an opportunity to bring people together.
Now, I'm just going to actually mention something that there was the draw and the names of all the teams and everything. And the President Sheinbaum and President Trump and I were talking as the draw is coming up. I don't think they'll mind. Gianni might mind I tell this story, but I'm going to tell the story anyway. It's too late now. I got to tell the story. And Paraguay comes up. Paraguay gets picked. And I said, whoa, Paraguay, they're good. They're good. But don't worry. Don't worry, President Trump says, okay, so they're good. And I said, but don't worry, they're not, no, they won't be, because they're supposed to be, you're D, so they'll be in C. And then one of the rules kicks in and they get moved over to D. So Paraguay's in the U.S. And the president's like, well, that's not good. And I was like, don't worry. These are just recommendations. We have to sign off on them. Gianni was not. He didn't find that as funny as the rest of us did. And we, you know the way the president sometimes gets something in his mind? He kept coming back to that as we were going on. So look at the draw as being indicative. It's indicative, the draw as it is. But, you know, this is about the beautiful game. It's about the world coming together. Sharing values is about peace as well.
What stood out most was how natural he sounded. This was not a politician forcing enthusiasm. This was a leader who appeared genuinely excited about what the tournament represents. Media coverage immediately picked up on the tone. Commentators noted how relaxed and confident he appeared, especially compared to the often tense political environment in Washington. It was diplomacy delivered through warmth rather than force.
And that's true. It is such a unifying event. It is also about winning. though, and there is an element of winning. And so my last acknowledgement I want to make before I go into my 20-minute speech is of the ultimate winner in my lifetime, which is Wayne Gretzky, the great one. Wayne, thank you for being here. Janet, the greater one, for being here. Their son, Tristan, the next one, thanks for being here as well, though. But in all truth, if you grow up in Canada, certainly if you grew up as I did in Edmonton, and you saw just commitment, excellence, day in, day out, whether it was an exhibition game or a final game of the Stanley Cup, the class and leadership, and that these are the values that come down. I'll say one other thing. Say one other thing in my acknowledgements. I'll just make one other point before I go into the speech.
Carney spoke with reporters in a relaxed and approachable manner. He joked lightly about the pressure of hosting such a massive event, while also emphasizing the opportunities it brings.
The ties that we have, the ties of families, the ties across borders, the ties of friendship, and the common values that we share. And I can think of no better event to bring together the values that football represents, the beautiful game, the values that the holidays represent, and the values that Canada, the United States, and Mexico share. We will be welcoming the world in the shape of 45 teams. We've already welcomed ourselves. We'll welcome 45 teams. We are looking forward in Canada, assuming that the draw stays the same. Gianni might have missed that bit of the speech. Assuming the draw stays the same, Canada will be welcoming Qatar, which put on an absolutely extraordinary World Cup.
Carney's presence drew attention for a significant reason: calm, composed, unifying. The contrast was striking. Trump has been long associated with polarizing rhetoric and contentious international policies, including those affecting immigration and global travel. Against that backdrop, Carney's message of welcome and openness felt deliberate and refreshing. Observers couldn't help but notice how Carney's confidence did not rely on spectacle. He didn't dominate the room by force, he did it through composure.
Just under 4 years ago, well, 3 years ago, I guess it was, right? 3 years ago exact, yeah. I had the privilege of being there and had the privilege of seeing Alphonso Davis's goal. Yeah. Yo is right. That's what I said. Actually, I didn't know my Apple Watch could go to 200 beats a minute, but it did when it went in. But we welcoming Qatar, Switzerland, and a team to be determined later. That could be Italy. Could be Italy. Could be Wales. Could be Northern Ireland. Could be Bosnia. Right? Wow. Okay, whoever shows up, they're going to be fantastic, and we look forward to welcoming everyone. Look, I will just finish really where I started. Yeah, I'll say it's a moment of great pride for me as Prime Minister, on behalf of, if I may, the mayors of Toronto and Vancouver, absolutely exceptional world-class cities that are hosting. It's a moment of pride for us to be in the World Cup. It's a moment of pride to be welcoming the world, and it's a moment of pride and really joy to be sharing this experience, tonight's experience, and the World Cup experience with our dear neighbors, Mexico and the United States. So,
Carney's FIFA appearance was more than a moment of charm. It was a strategic display of Canadian soft power. Canada has long positioned itself as a diplomatic and cooperative nation. Hosting the World Cup allows that image to be projected to billions of viewers worldwide. Carney's remarks reinforce that narrative at precisely the right moment. The economic impact of the tournament is expected to be substantial. Host cities like Toronto and Vancouver are preparing for increased tourism, infrastructure investment, and global exposure. But beyond economics, the World Cup represents visibility. For a Prime Minister with deep roots in global finance and international institutions, this was a chance to show leadership in a different arena, not behind closed doors, but on a world stage watched by fans rather than policymakers.